All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. This one's going to be the top 3 stocks for the week. So let's get straight into it. First things first, we have a lot that is going on in the market. I mean, if you look at it on Wednesday, we have FOMC meeting. So that's going to be extremely important. FOMC is at 2 p.m. with 2:30. Jerome Powell comes in and speaks and answers questions. So it's going to be very important because we got to know what the rate decision is going to be, right? Are we going to get a rate cut this time, or are they going to keep it paused and maybe do a rate cut next time, so on and so forth? So it's going to create a lot of volatility, and it's going to be very important to watch out for on Wednesday. But just, not just FOMC, we also have a lot of big tech names releasing earnings. We got on Tuesday AMD and Microsoft being the two big ones to watch out for. Starbucks, you can throw it in there, but I don't really care about Starbucks. Microsoft and AMD being the two big ones are the ones to watch out for on Tuesday. Wednesday, we got Boeing in the morning and Meta, ARM, Qualcomm, CVNA. These guys, these four in the afternoon. I mean, this is going to be another big day as well. Thursday, Amazon, Apple, Intel, Coinbase, Roku, Block. I mean, there's so many big names reporting earnings this week that you're gonna see a lot of volatility coming into the market, and we're gonna see some ups and downs throughout the week with all of these earnings and FOMC and so on and so forth. So it's gonna be a little bit of a difficult week to trade. We also have, not to mention, a lot of data coming out. Tuesday we have where is it? Tuesday we have job opening numbers coming in, consumer confidence numbers coming in. FOMC on Thursday, you have FOMC on Wednesday, you have Thursday, where is it, 9 PMI numbers and unemployment claims. So those are going to be important. And then on Friday we got unemployment rate, that is also going to be important. So there's so many data also coming out that this week is just jam packed with lots of news and lots of earnings, and it's going to be very difficult to trade and probably impossible to swing and get the right direction because the market's going to be so unpredictable. So be careful this week. Keep your sizes small, and as you keep your size small, try to make as much money as you can with small size. Just risk less, make more, basically. And with that, of course, if you do have trouble on your own making trades, you can always join the room. The room has done absolutely incredible this week. We have had 19 wins and only 3 losses, and this was actually my biggest week of the year. And that's saying a lot because we're on almost middle, a little bit over middle of the year, and I just had my biggest week, and I think the rest of this year is going to be just as crazy and just as good. So if you want to be part of this room and you want to catch these plays, again, every single trade that you see that I have taken every single day here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all of them have been alerted in this main account alert room. You also get my long-term alerts as well, along with chatting with members. You get my morning notes. Every morning I post 8 stocks that I think has the potential to move up and down with specific long and short setups on them. You get my indicator access along with video tutorials as to how to access it and how to use it. You get how to use my Discord in general. You get trade reviews, videos of trades that I've taken. I just started doing this, so I'm going to be doing more and more of these videos so that you have every day you have something to kind of look into and study off of. And not to mention, for anybody who's new to the room, you also get my day trading course part 1, day trading course part 2, and my advanced lessons. These are things that you won't find in YouTube as much as where you find, honestly, you probably won't find any of these specific things anywhere because these are very specific to my strategy and how I use it to make money. And yeah, there are all of these things you see, you access them as soon as you get the membership. Whether you're monthly, whether you're lifetime, whether you're yearly, it doesn't matter. You gain access to it as long as you have your membership. So if you want to catch if you want to see all of these things and you want to be part of the room, check out the link in the descriptions below. What you do is if you click on the link in the description, it will take you to here, and it will take you to this page right here. This is my where you can sign up to get access to my membership monthly. Click on it, get access, and I'm going to keep this code open for 1 or 2 days. Sale 50. Use this code. You're going to get 50% off of the first month of the monthly subscription. It's only $20. Most, if not all, of the rooms out there charge $100 plus a month. So you're getting a room that is extremely cheap and is giving you value like this. All of these things, including 19 wins and 3 losses, only 3 losses in an entire week, right? Not a month, in just 1 week. You're gonna make that $20 back in the first trade, most likely. So yeah, take advantage of it before the code runs out. Stale50 is the code. Use it before checkout. Fill out your information, and then you'll be taken to the WAP page where you'll have the ability to access. If you have any trouble, just reach out to me and I'll help you out. With that, guys, let's go straight into the market and talking about what we can expect from SPY and QQQ and the top 3 stocks for the week. So, just pure technicals. Here's how the market has done so far. So last week I made a video on Sunday and I talked about how I think market is going to be pretty bearish this, how it's going to be pretty bearish last week. And, I think that you're going to see a lot more downside. And it just happened to be exactly the case. We went from, 550s and so on all the way down to 530s on SPY, and on QQQ we've gone down even further. We've gone down from these 480s all the way down to 450. So it's been a pretty aggressive bearish movement on the market, and I don't think the market is quite done yet. I think the market is going to be a little bit slower this week than what we've seen so far, but it is still going to be pretty volatile enough to the point where we can actually still make money. Now, with QQQ to start things off, obviously we're got a red EMA cloud right here, which suggests that we are bearish in terms of price strength and price action. You can see this EMA crossover going from red to green signals that price is about to go bearish, and that is something that we see price go down quite a bit. Not to mention, you also see that we've broken underneath the blue EMA cloud. That also suggests that the price went down underneath the 50 EMA line, which is also a pretty big deal and pretty bearish sign. And not to mention, you also have this flow on the downside here, as a flow went from positive to negative, which suggests that there's a lot of sellers. Now, what to expect from the market heading into this week? Well, again, market is not going to follow the same script from technicals. Technicals don't really matter as much this week because of how volatile the market is going to be with all of these news and information and FOMC and earnings and so on. There's going to be a lot of back and forth depending on what the market does. But if we just purely base it off of levels, I'm looking to see if we can break 456 here, 455.75 on the QQQ, and let's bring it down towards 450. Now, 450 is going to be a pretty significant area of support for the QQQ. So that is something that I want to see. If we can break under this 455.75 and then go down to 450, that's about a 5 to 6 point move on the downside, and it's a pretty good move, and I want to take advantage of it, and I want to get that short on the QQQ. If QQQ comes down to 450 and it breaks 450, the next level is 443 to 445. So that is something that I will also be looking forward to short, especially if we break 450. I want to at least take it down to 443s and 445s and take advantage of that short. That's the short side. On the long side, here's what I want to do on the long side. Now, we do technically have a doji reversal candle. And oftentimes when you see a doji reversal candle right here after a downward trend move like this, right? After this downward trend move, we got a doji reversal candle. It oftentimes signals a possible bounce. And we can see maybe an upward movement on the market this week. Who knows? Is the market going to follow this chart setup? Maybe, maybe not. But if we do see an upward move from the market, and assuming that we don't gap up tomorrow, your goal for the long side of the market is to wait and see if you can break 466 right here. If you break 466 on QQQ, you got at the bare minimum room towards 470, which will be a roughly a test of this red EMA, blue EMA cloud right here, and that test is going to be difficult. But if we do break 470, you got a room towards 474, 474.50. After 474.50, you got room towards this gap fill all the way up to 480. So you got quite a few areas to go up. It is a pretty decent drop the last 2 weeks. So you do have gaps on the upside to fill. So that is what you're looking for. You're looking for the first area to confirm is 466 break to get to 470, 470 break to get to 474, 475, and then break that to get to 480. Okay, so that is the long side of the QQQ, and of course after that we will see if we can downtrend reverse and go up even more, but for that we have to see how the price of the market is. For now, this is what I'm looking forward to, and playing both sides of the market is going to be very important. SPY, similarly, just going to quickly go over it. Short is going to be under 538 in my opinion. Not really 538, more like 537 50 roughly. 537.50 breaks, you got room towards, I would say, roughly around like 533 to 535, and just take advantage of that, not 533, like 533 to 530 area. So take advantage of that. 533 is going to be a pretty decent support here, and then if 533 breaks, obviously 530 is going to be the next support. So you got a 7-point move on the downside, 5 to 7-point move on the downside, assuming the flow stays bearish. If however SPY decides to break above 547.50, roughly right here, 547.50, you got room towards this gap fill towards 552, 553. So you can take advantage of that as well. I will, however, point out that SPY looks pretty bearish. We recently just had the green to red EMA crossover right here, and we are trying to get underneath the blue EMA cloud. So if we do break underneath blue EMA cloud, it is going to go down a lot more, and so you have to keep an eye on that fact and be able to catch this move on the downside if there is more bearish price action. Okay, with that, let's go straight into the first stock on the top 3 stock list, Tesla. Tesla, very straightforward idea. Released earnings wasn't that crazy. You have the green EMA going red, so that signals a bearish flow. Earnings has been not earnings, but the flow has been going from green to slowly into the red zone. It hasn't quite entered red, but you can see the flow has slowly been decreasing and decreasing and decreasing, which suggests that Tesla's losing its buying volume and it's getting more selling volume. Here's what you want to do. If you want to short the stock, you want to wait until, I would say, this area of 213. If it breaks under 213, short it down, I would say, to 200. That would be where you go next. In my opinion, 200 is a pretty strong support area, and that is the room that you have to the downside. Why? Because that will break this 50 EMA cloud right here, and it's going to break underneath it. And the moment you break underneath the blue EMA cloud, it is a bearish sign and a bearish price action. On the flip side, if Tesla decides to bounce, you want to play 226 break for the gap fill all the way up to 246. I mean, it's not going to fill the entire gap, but you can get a couple of points to the upside, maybe from 226 to 230, 235. That would be a good area for a target to take some profits and then maybe ride the rest of the gap fill. Pretty straightforward idea. Break the downside, short it, break the upside, long it, right? Next stock is Google. This is number 2 on the list, and Google, very, very interesting here. Now, obviously, Google released earnings last week, and it has since gone down quite a bit. Now, for me, Google is pretty interesting because we have a massive doji star reversal candle, and when you see a doji star reversal candle like this, what it basically tells us is you go down, doji star reversal candle, you go up. It's a sign of reversal. So for me, what I'm looking for is a positive move on Google this coming week. If Google decides to break above the price of 170, I want to long it all the way up to this fair value gap of 173.60. This is what you call a FVG, or fair value gap, because this red candle right here was such a big red candle. You have a nice amount of balancing to do on the upside because of this doji star candle right here. So if it goes and breaks 170, I want to go to 173.50. After 173.50, you got room towards 178. And above 178, we got gap fill to 183. Okay, so those are the long setups. However, if Google decides to go down further and the market goes down further and Google follows it, your short is simply under this level of Friday lows, which is 166. If Google breaks under 166, you got room towards at least 164.70. Under 164.70, you got gap to fill to 161.50. And then under 161.50, you got more gap to fill to 158.50. Okay, so those are the levels on the short side. So now you know which way to go. If it bounces, which I am expecting it to bounce because of this doji reversal candle, I want to play the long based on these levels above 170. And if it fails to bounce and it breaks underneath 166, I go short. Simple stuff. Last but not least, the final stock on the list is CVS. And with CVS, straightforward idea. All I want to do is play the long side of it. I don't want to short it. Long above 62, we go ahead and we gap fill all the way up to 67. Simple as that. Nothing wrong with this. I will point out that on the weekly chart, we actually have a potential buy signal. And a buy signal oftentimes gives us more momentum to the upside. So this is something that is very interesting because we have had bearish flow throughout this whole, 2-3 months, and then it's finally starting to get positive flow. It means there's buyers coming in now, and it's trying to get above this weekly red EMA cloud. So that signals that there's a potential gap fill on the stock that can happen either this week or next week. But I'm keeping an eye on it for this week, and I'm gonna see if we can break above 62 and get into 63, 64, 65, and so on and so forth. With that, guys, these are my top 3 stocks for the week. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And peace.